Welcome, everyone. I would like to invite you to come back to the module number two, and let's talk about profit, but really the layover between connecting with from your passion to your profit. And if you recall the lesson 2.1, we talk about the brain story. And I hope by this time you probably have one word that would describe your brain story. And you don't have to memorize it because this is really who you are. It's very personable to you. It's your personal stories. So the next time when you have to go to do an elevator pitch, you would have the answers already. Now, the next session that I want to talk about is your customers. And first of all, to be your customers, you also personally probably also are customers of your business as well. Otherwise, you wouldn't so believe in it and creating this business. So I would like to, for you first, let's close your eyes. And we're going to do a meditations. So that way, imagine that you are going to a beautiful garden and to be with your customers. Let's say your customer name is Jane, or you can pick any name that is relevant to you. And your customer is sitting there and waiting on you to share their burdens, their worriness, and their pain. And so you just listen tentatively. And from there, let's see if you have a solutions that you can talk to your customers and you can explain to them how is your solution can take up some of the pain, some of the worriness that they have. This is really profounding to me. And I actually did this exercise about a couple months ago. And in this exercise, I had always thinking about that my customer are in general business owners. Yet when I do the meditation, I actually walk into the garden and I found a bookkeeper who is sitting quietly and ready to share with me that her pain for having a bookkeeping business is that how can she find more customers, that how can she grow bigger and go beyond herself just being a bookkeeping firm. And I can really relate to this pain because it's back in 2012, as 8 years ago, I also created a small CPA firm. And I thinking small because I was wanting to see how I can get more bookkeeping clients. And I just got stuck a big time because I'm like, where do I start? And with that, I went on crazy with networking. But then at the same time, I didn't know who was my ideal customers. And fast forward, now I have been very, very successfully with finding customer all over the world. And that also my consulting business have tripling its growth just in 2 years. So because of that, I had the roadmap and I know that not everybody is my customers. I'm very selective who are my customers. And with that, I invite you to now, let's open your eyes and let's go through the workbook that I have prepared for you. So share my screen. So as you can see, the workbook, we talk about the profit. And in here we say, in order to generate profits, you need to have your customers. And this is your external customer that I'm going to cover that in this lesson 2.2. Okay, and the first lesson we did talk about the brain story. So the external customer, who are they? What are their purposes? What are their dreams? What is their reality, their education, their background, and many, many more questions. What is the population of your customer? That is important because now you can open up the horizon. Before you think everybody was your customer, but let's say now you only narrow to a chain. And how many of the chain that is available for you to help and assist? So Jane is a person name I want to clarify with you in that aspect. But I hope that you have a large populations because that's when really your market is wide open for you. And what is their angst? What makes them worry? What their concern? What keep them up at night? I mean, not just only about who they are, not just the avatar, but it's really what is their angst. And how are you when you solve a problems for this customer? What is the impact that they will have? What will happen to them if they don't have your solution? What will it cost them in time and money? And so you can go on and on. And what if they got the solution, but it's the wrong solution somebody have provided to you to them? And that is the beauty of it because it's when you have a service provider, you're a service provider, you have to thinking in terms of selling is really helping and serving others. Then you don't see your solution as just the way and the means of you making money. The end of the day, it's not always about making money. Making money is the top. We have to make money in order for us to stay sustainable. But to stay long term is have to have a clear purpose and us also get us to, we're going to talk about the purpose section next, right? So I would say that do a survey of your ideal customers and ask them what other services that you can provide to them and or how can you improve your service to make their life easier. So now, because that you understand clearly what your customer need, will you be able easier to communicate to them, to collect your message across, and to give the clarity of the message? So beside your customers, you also have an indirect customers. So I'm giving an example that my husband and I own a coding school. We're teaching kids between the age of 7 to 12 years old. So the direct customers that benefit from the product is the kids. But yes, who is paying for these? It's the indirect customers, that's the parents, right? So sometimes my marketing messages, it's just not only about the kids, but it have to be also about the parents and understand the parents' pains, the angst, their anxiety, just like the direct customers. So that's again, I'm inviting you to answer all of these questions. And sometimes you get stuck. When you get stuck, I would invite you to do the meditation and look inward. Look in yourself first, because I can guarantee you must be a solution of your own pain that you have experienced. Otherwise, you wouldn't create this business. Just like when I and my husband doing a coding school, it's because we was busy working parents and that our kids were just we didn't have enough time with them, and we were looking for an environment where they can really excel and be with somebody who give them clear guidance how to use technology correctly. So that's why we have wanting this coding school. So again, that's because of our worriness, of our own experience, that's how we can get to answer these questions. And what is the impact that by your direct customer receive the benefit? How is that your indirect customer also benefit from it, right? So I'm also inviting you to talk about the impact. Now, well, you know me by now. Everything that I do is passion, profit, and purpose. They're all alignment, right? So it just the same thing is that when you have a direct customer, indirect customer, and how they relate to the community overall, right? So you also have to answer multiple questions about when you're providing a solution to your direct customer, what's going to happen to your indirect, and then what's going to get to the community. So for me, the answer is pretty straightforward because I help a lot of business owners. And to me, when I help business owner, the indirect customers are their employees, are their vendors, are their customer. So those are in the indirect customer. At the same time, if I help that business owner to be successful, that's what's going to happen to the community, right? So the area that they're surrounding, we have also a lot of clients who are not for profit as well. So if the not-for-profit are doing well and serving more people, how is that going to impact the community? So you can see how is your customers are really interact with the community, then you can have a more clear pictures of how your solutions that you provide is very impactful. So what is the reality? What is the community worry about, right? So um, that when your customers are not doing well, what's going to happen to the community, right? And then the impact, how will that positive impact your customer receive the benefit the community have? How about time saving? How about any other resources, material beneficial or harmful by having your solution? And beautify the surrounding. I mean, we all here to have an alignment of you, the people that surround you, and then the community within you, that outside of you. So, um, going through this exercise, and if you have more that you are concerned and cannot find the answer, I really want to invite you to complete the meditations on the customer sections, because a lot of the answers you would find internally within yourself. So that is the conclusion of lesson 2.2, and it's module 2 is talking about profit, right? So the next lesson we're going to talk about your internal customers. Thank you very much for attending this lesson.